I chose to do my video over the strategies for dealing with a must be right parent. So basically, what it was a parent comes in mad, screaming into the AD's office, "I want to see the athletic director now," and I mean now. So AD gets off the phone. He comes in. Good morning. How may I help you? I want some answers, and I don't want any cover ups. So it goes on to say, please come in to my office, a nice area that's by itself, which I totally agree with. No need to talk about this situation in front of anybody that doesn't need to be there. Says, so you're saying that you wanted some more information, and the parent's still mad. Yes, I do want some more information, and you would too. So the AD understands, okay, I can really see something's bothering you. And the parent goes on to say, yeah, it doesn't take you to be a rocket scientist to see that. If your kid got treated the way mine did, you'd be mad too. So the AD says, your irritation is very apparent. What can we discuss or what more can I know to understand where you're at? The parent says it's Coach Johnson. He's not fair. Very bold. He's not fair statement. So he comes back with an open-ended question. Oh, so you say he's not fair? Yes, Bobby's never missed a practice. He does his schoolwork, never cuts class, and he's been on the squad for 4 seasons, and he never gets to play. So the AD kind of comes back to what he's saying is, let me make sure I heard what you said. He's a good student, good squad member, and doesn't get to play as much as he and you would like. Parent says yes. Ask him what he did at practice. He says, I'm on scout team. And he says, does the coach say anything? He says, no. So AD says, tell me what you think about Bobby's skills as related to his teammates. What kind of a team player is he? He's a regular when he played in middle school, and I send him to summer camps every year. AD, so he was a regular in 8th grade, but isn't playing now as a senior. Parent says, yes, stupid coach isn't fair, and he doesn't recognize talent. So the AD says, well, what would you like to see happen? Play him more, or at least talk to him for the coach. Tell him what he needs to do to get better. So the AD asks, have you talked to your son or the coach about it? And so parent comes back sarcastically, what do you pay him for? Doesn't he need to talk to the kids? And AD says, we want our coaches to be available to discuss concerns with issues for players and parents. Parent says, yeah, right, this guy's not approachable. AD says, I understand correctly, there hasn't been any information or any communication. Parent says, the coach doesn't talk to anyone. And he says, well, what if I would ask you to meet with myself, your son, and the coach? Parent says, well, what good would that do? I could ask the coach to bring along the charts, stats, see how he compares to others. Where the parent says, oh, he's a senior. Doesn't that mean something? AD responds, we appreciate his loyalty and hard work. I'm sure coach appreciates the role he plays. Who the parent interrupts, yeah, right, then play him. And the AD says, I would really be happy to facilitate the communications that you say is missing. So I chose this one because I feel like as a coach, a high school coach, I see this all the time. I've been in this situation before. A parent seeing the one side of his own kid, which I understand would be hard to do. It's your own son. You want the best for him. He's playing the senior card. He's got to play because he's a senior, which seniors put in a lot of good work. They've been there. They know what's going on. They know what the process is like, but that doesn't always mean playing time. Still got to earn it like everybody else. In high school sports, talent comes into play. So it says, what is the root of this problem? The root of the problem to me is the parent is one-sided and is only looking out for his own kid, and maybe number one, hasn't talked to the coach. Number one, my biggest issue, his son hasn't talked to the coach. So for what else could be done, our philosophy at our high school is, if you want to talk about playing time, your son has to come and talk to us first. So we use it as like a job interview. If your kid is 25 years old and they have a job interview, you are not going to go in with them and ask their boss questions about the job. Or if there's a problem at work, you're not going to go fight their battle for them. So your kid needs to learn how to do that to a certain respect at the high school level. So what else could be done? I think the kid goes and talks to the coach, says, what can I do to get better? What can I do to do more? And then if that doesn't work out, then I think sitting down, like in this discusses, sitting with the AD and the coach and the son would be the next best move. A lot of times parents get mad from what I've found, and they don't communicate with their son or their daughter as much as you would think that they could or should, to where they might be totally happy with being on scout team and knowing that there's kids that are better than them, and that is their part in helping the team, as opposed to the parents seeing their kid on the sideline and that making them frustrated. Um, is there a system problem that needs to be addressed? I don't think that there's a system problem with the school that needs to be addressed. The kid has to talk to the coach, or the coach is going to keep doing what he's doing. Um, that's the remedy I would suggest too. Have the player go talk to the coach. The coach will be responsive. The coach will understand. If not, then you have a whole nother issue on your hands of what kind of coach you have in place. After that happens, like I said, if the parent's not satisfied, bring everybody in, come talk to them. Um, and if the parent declines the meeting to review the data, like it says in question 5, what alternatives could you suggest? Um, I think just coming in to talk without any data would be good. I also think letting the coach know, hey, this parent came in, they're frustrated. Maybe the son doesn't feel so comfortable talking about the situation. Then the coach can pull the kid aside and say, hey, how are things going? Are you happy? You do a great part in our program. I think you could do more if you did this, this, and this. So, uh, to me, communication is the biggest thing that you could ever possibly have in sports, with parents, with players, with your AD, all the above. So if there's a playing issue, I would say 99% of coaches out there play kids that need to be out on the floor. They don't play because their dad gives them money. They don't play because of their last name. Like, you might find that in some situations, but overall, you're going to play the best kids that you have, and you also will reward those that do the right things for you and that put in the time and work hard. But just because you're a senior doesn't mean that you get out there and play. To me, that would frustrate me as a coach to have a parent come in this way without me being addressed first of, here's our situation, my son's unhappy, I'm unhappy, whatever it is. But I think ultimately the kid has to come to it first. So those would be my suggestions. That's how I would do it. There's never 100% right way, and there are wrong ways, but to me, there's more than one way you can do it. That's just my approach to how I would handle the situation.